Friends, last class we were completed the Raoult's law for the liquid in liquid type solutions. Now today in this class I will explain the Raoult's law for the solid in liquid type solutions, or the Raoult's law for the solution containing the non-volatile solutes. So before going to that Raoult's law concept, first of all we have to know about this small concept, the vapor pair of solution containing solids in the liquids. So what is the vapor pair of the pure solvent and what is the vapor pair of the solution containing the solid solutes? This is a pure solvent taken in this beaker. This is a solvent. So I am taking the solvent in this beaker. So in this one beaker, I am taking the solvent. To this solvent, we are adding the solid solutes. Whenever the solid solutes are added to the solvent, it becomes two solutions. Because of solution is nothing but solute plus solvent. That's why the solution containing the solid solutes dissolved in it, in which the physical properties of this solution is quite different from the physical properties of the pure solvent. So in what way these two are differ with each other? For example, vapor pressure. Vapor pressure is one of the example. So in the case of the vapor pair of the solvent is different from the vapor pair of the solution containing the solid solutes. Then what is that concept? Then see the next one point. Okay, then see this is a beaker. This is another one beaker. This beaker is a glass bowl. This is another glass bowl. So this is first one beaker, this is the second one beaker. This is a pure solvent. Here what type of the solvent? This is a volatile solvent. Pure volatile solvent. The second one is this is a solvent. This is also pure volatile solvent. Then first one see this one bowl. In the first one bowl, this is a pure solvent taken in this bowl. Pure solvent means this is what type of the solvent? Volatile solvent. That means in this one first one beaker, when they heating this beaker or heating this water, the solvent particles are undergoes the evaporations. Whenever the solvent molecules undergoes the evaporation, these solvent molecules are escape out from its liquid surface to this space. So then these solvent particles are occupying in this bowl. Again, these vapors of the solvent particles again come back to its liquid surface during the condensation process. These vapors exert some pressure on this liquid surface. That pressure is called vapor pressure. So this is the vapor pressure of the what type of solvent? Pure volatile solvent. So this is vapor pressure of pure volatile solvent. Then next one is this is a pure solvent I have taken. Same this type of volatile solvent. To this volatile solvent, I am adding some amount of non-volatile solute particles. Non-volatile solute particles. Non-volatile means solvent is volatile, but solutes are non-volatile. So this is a volatile solvent plus non-volatile solute. That's why these two are called solution. So whenever the non-volatile solute added to this volatile solvent, these solute particles are distributed homogeneously distributed throughout the solvent. Whenever the solute particles are homogeneously distributed throughout the solvent, at the time the surface of the liquid maximum the solvent particles are there. When we are adding the solute particles, the solvent particles are replaced by the solute particles. What type of solute particles? Non-volatile solute particles are occupying the solvent particle position in the surface of the liquid. whenever the surface of the liquid occupied by the non-volatile solute particles, it causes on heating this liquid the vaporization of this solution is decreased. Why here vaporization of the solution decreased? Because of solvent only evaporated. Solute is non-volatile, so it is not undergoes the evaporation. That's why here the surface of the liquid, the fraction of the solvent particles is decreased. Fraction of the solute particles increase. That's why whenever the fraction of solvent particles on the surface of the liquid is decrease, the vaporization of the liquid also what happened? Decrease. The vaporization of the solution what happened? Decrease. Whenever the vaporization of the solution decreases, during the condensation, the pressure exerted by the vapor molecules of the liquid also decrease. Or pressure exerted by the vapor molecules of the solvent is what happened? Decrease in this solution. That's why here this is the vapors of the solution. So you see here more the vapor particles are there, solvent particles. Here less number of the vapor particles are there. That's why here the vapor pressure of the solution is decreased. Vapor pressure of the solution contain non-volatile solute here decrease. This is vapor pressure of the pure solvent is increased. So based on this one point, the solution, the vapor pressure of the solution containing the non-volatile solute is always lesser than vapor pressure of the pure solvent. Understood what I said? The vapor pressure of solution containing the non-volatile solute is always lesser than the vapor pressure of the solution, vapor pressure of the pure solvent. So that's why the vapor pressure of the solution containing solids in the liquid means the vapor pressure of the pure solvent is always higher than vapor pressure of the solution containing the non-volatile solute. Then next one concept is lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, then next one is lowering of vapor pressure. It is represented by LVP. Then what is lowering of vapor pressure? Just now I told this is a pure solvent. Here all the solvent particles undergoes the evaporation. That's why the vapor pressure is more in the case of the pure solvent. But in the case of the solution, this is the solution. In this second one bigger, the solution containing the pure solvent along with non-volatile solute particles. During the presence of non-volatile solute particles, here the fraction of evaporation of the solvent particles decrease. That's why vapor pressure here decrease. So here the solution contain non-volatile solute, here vapor pressure is less than solution than the vapor pressure of the pure solvent. That's why here lowering of vapor pressure means the difference between the vapor pressure of the pure solvent and vapor pressure of the solution contain non-volatile solute. Here the difference is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure. So what is lowering of vapor pressure means the difference between vapor pressure of the pure solvent and vapor pressure of the solution containing non-volatile solute. That difference is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure. You see here the vapor pressure of the pure solvent is represented by the P naught. Vapor pressure of the solution contain non-volatile solute is represented by the P. Then what is the difference between the what is the concept of lowering of vapor pressure means the difference between the vapor pressure of pure solvent and vapor pressure of solution contain non-volatile solute. That's why pure solvent minus vapor pressure of solution contain non-volatile solute. That difference is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure. That is represented by delta P. Delta P means lowering of vapor pressure is equal to vapor pressure of the pure solvent and vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solute. That difference is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure. Here one more important point. The vapor pressure of the solution is decreased. Vapor pressure of the solution decreased when the concentration of solution is increased. Concentration of solution increase means we are adding the more amount of the non-volatile solute particles added to the solvent. At that time the vapor pressure is very, that means the vapor pressure of the solution is very less. That's why the vapor pressure of solution is very decreased when the concentration of the solution is increased. Concentration of solution increase means in this solution non-volatile solute particle is more. So at that time vapor pressure is very less. That is one of the point. Then next one is second one point, the lowering of vapor pressure of solution increase with increase the concentration of the solution. concentration of solution. Just now I told concentration of the solution increase means we are adding the more amount of solute particle, its concentration of the solution what happen increase. Whenever the concentration of solution increase, the vapor power of the solution is very very decrease. Whenever the vapor power of solution very very decrease, the difference between the vapor power of the solvent and the solution contain non-water solute, the difference is very very increase. That's why the lowering of vapor power of the solution is increase. Means here difference is increase when the concentration of the solution is increased. So that is a lowering of vapor pressure. Okay. Then next one is relative lowering of vapor pressure or RLVP. Then what is the relative lowering of vapor pressure? The ratio between lowering of vapor pressure and vapor power of the pure solvent. The ratio of lowering of vapor pressure and vapor power of the pure solvent, that ratio is nothing but relative lowering of vapor pressure. That means delta P divided by P naught. Means delta P means what here? Delta P, P naught minus P divided by P naught. So this is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. So once again, what is relative lowering of vapor pressure means? The relative lowering of vapor pressure means the ratio of lowering of vapor pressure to the vapor power of the pure solvent. That ratio is nothing but relative lowering of vapor pressure. Here one more important point, the relative lowering of vapor pressure is independent on the temperature. Independent on the temperature. Even though vapor pressure of solvent and solution depends on the temperature. Dependent on temperature. Vapor power of the solvent to solution depending on the temperature, but relative lowering of vapor power of the solution is independent on the temperature. So that is the one of the important point in this concept. Then next one is Raoult's law. Next one is Raoult's law for the non-volatile solute volatile liquid system. Then what is Raoult's law for the non-volatile solute and the volatile liquid system? The statement is the vapor pressure of the relative lowering of vapor pressure of dilute solution containing non-volatile solute is equal to the mole fraction of the solute present in the solution. Relative lowering of vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solute is equal to the mole fraction of the solute present in the solution. That is called Raoult's law statement for the non-volatile solute and volatile liquid system. So once again, what is the statement of Raoult's law for this one system? According to this system, the relative lowering of vapor pressure of dilute solution containing non-volatile solute is equal to the mole fraction of the solute present in the solution. That means the relative lowering of vapor pressure means delta P by P naught is equal to the mole fraction of the solute present in the solution. So here N1 means N1 means number of moles of solute. Here N2 is nothing but number of moles of solvent. Okay. Here Xi1 is mole fraction of solute. Here Xi2 is mole fraction of solvent. According to the statement, the relative lowering of vapor pressure of dilute solution containing non-volatile solute is equal to the mole fraction of the solute. Then the delta P is nothing but what I told you, P naught minus P divided by P naught is equal to the Xi1. That means P naught minus P divided by P naught equal to the Xi1 means mole fraction of the solute. What is mole fraction of solute? Number of moles of solute divided by total number of moles of the solution. So this is the Raoult's law statement for this system. So once again, what is Raoult's law statement? The relative lowering of vapor pressure of dilute solution containing non-volatile solute is equal to the mole fraction of the solute. Mole fraction of solute means N1 by N1 plus N2. This is the Raoult's law statement. Then how it is get this according to the statement. So that is the next one, derivation. One is the derivation of Raoult's law for the solution containing non-volatile solute particles. Here generally the solution contains solute and solvent. The number of moles of solute is the solution contains N1 moles of solute particles and same time N2 moles of solvent particles. Therefore, the mole fraction of solute is equal to Xi1 is equal to N1 divided by N1 plus N2. Next one is the mole fraction of solvent Xi2 is equal to N2 divided by N1 plus N2. Then next one is according to the Raoult's law statement. Raoult's law statement. What is Raoult's law statement? According to the Raoult's law statement, your statement, the vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solute is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solvent. So once again, what is the statements of Raoult's law? According to this Raoult's law statement, the vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solute is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solvent. So based on that statement, the vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solute is directly proportional to the mole fraction of solvent. Here mole fraction of solvent, not equal here. Vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solute is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solvent. So the next one is, that means vapor pressure is directly proportional to mole fraction of solvent means mole fraction of solvent increase, vapor pressure what happen now increase. So it is explained by a small graph. So you see here vapor pressure is taken on the y-axis, mole fraction taken on the x-axis. Then we obtain the straight line, means the mole fraction vapor pressure is increase with increase the mole fraction. Mole fraction increase, vapor pressure also increase. So that is about the vapor pressure of the solution containing non-volatile solute directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solvent. Then next one is here P is equal to, remove the proportional, put the constant, that is P naught Xi2. P naught Xi2. Therefore, P is equal to P naught into, here already I told according to the mole fraction Xi1 plus Xi2 is equal to 1. That means here Xi2 is equal to 1 minus Xi1. Then substitute this value in this Xi2 position. Then Xi2 is equal to 1 minus Xi1. Therefore, P is equal to, P divided by P naught, P divided by P naught is equal to 1 minus Xi1. Then next one step, here minus Xi1 is comes to this one side, P divided by P naught comes to 1 this one side. Then next one step is P divided by P naught is equal to 1 minus Xi1. Therefore, Xi1 is equal to 1 minus P divided by P naught. Therefore, Xi1 is equal to, then cross multiplying this 2 1, then what we obtained? P naught minus P divided by P naught. Therefore, P naught minus P divided by P naught, it is called relative lowering of vapor pressure, is equal to the mole fraction of the solute. Already I told Raoult's law statement. The relative lowering of vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solute is equal to the mole fraction of solute. But vapor pressure of the solution containing non-volatile solute directly proportional to the mole fraction of solvent. Then next one is P naught minus P divided by P naught is equal to mole fraction of the solute means what here, what I told here. Then substitute this value in this equation. Then N1 divided by N1 plus N2. So this is the Raoult's law derivation. This is Raoult's law. So this is about the Raoult's law derivation. Here one of the important point is there. This Raoult's law is applicable to the ideal solutions. If it is applicable to the real solutions, that solution must follow the some of the limitations. So the Raoult's law is applicable to the ideal solution. If it is applied to the real solutions, that solution must follow the following limitations. Then what are the limitations? So see the next one concept, limitations. The next one is the limitations of the Raoult's law. And first one point, generally the Raoult's law is applicable to the ideal solutions. If it is applied to the real solutions, the solution must follow the some limitations. Then what is first one limitation? So your first one limitation is the solution must be dilute solution. The Raoult's law is applicable when the solution must be dilute solution, and the solution is approximately behaves as ideal behavior. The solution approximately have ideal behavior. So that type of the solutions is follow the Raoult's law. So first one point, the Raoult's law is applicable when the solution must contain a solution must be dilute solutions approximately have ideal behavior. To that type of the solution, Raoult's law is applicable. Then second one point, Raoult's law is applicable when the solution contains non-volatile solute. The solution contains non-volatile solute, then only the Raoult's law is applicable. If it is a volatile solution, this Raoult's law is not applicable. The solution must contain non-volatile solute, then Raoult's law is applicable. Then next one is third one point, the solution must follow the Raoult's law when the solution in which the solute does not undergoes any association or dissociation with solution. Association or dissociation with solution. The first one, once again, first one point, the Raoult's law is applicable when the solution must be dilute solutions approximately have ideal behavior. Then only Raoult's law is applicable. The next one is Raoult's law is applicable when the solution contains non-volatile solute. Then third one point, the Raoult's law is applicable when the solution in which solute does not undergoes any association dissociation with solution. Whenever the solution in which solute is not undergoes any association dissociation, then only the Raoult's law is applicable. If the solute is undergoes association or dissociation, Raoult's law is not applicable. So these are the three important limitations. Then next one is the Raoult's law, a special case of Henry's law. Concept is Raoult's law, a special case of Henry's law. So first one is the Raoult's law for the volatile component of the solution. That means the Raoult's law for the liquid in liquid type solution. What is the Raoult's law formula? Here Pa is equal to Xia into P naught A. Okay. So it can be written as like this. Pa is equal to P naught A into Xia. So based on this one formula, what we are understanding the definition of the vapor pressure of the one component in the solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction of that component in the solution. Vapor pressure of the component in the solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction of that component in the solution. That means here P naught is a proportional constant. To remove the proportional constant, then Pm is vapor pressure of the component is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the component in the solution. So this is this one is Raoult's law for the volatile component of the solution. Then next one is what is Henry's law? Henry's law. So Henry's law is PA is equal to KH into Xia. Means the partial pair of the gas in the solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the gas in the solution. That means here KH is a proportionality constant. To remove the proportionality constant, then what we obtained? PA is directly proportional to Xia. So this is also both are equal, or these two also both are equal. So according to this formula, what is Henry's law? The partial pair of the gas in the solution directly proportional to the mole fraction of the gas in the solution. So here Raoult's law and Henry's law both are equal, but difference is proportionality constant is different. What is their proportionality constant? In the Raoult's law, proportionality constant is in the Raoult's law is is P naught A. The next one is proportionality constant in the Henry's law is KH. Only difference is the proportionality constant, the remaining is identical. That's why the Henry's law and Raoult's law have some similarities and also have some dissimilarities. Then first one is what is similarities. Similarities is both Raoult's law and Henry's law is applied to the volatile component of the solution. It is applied to the volatile component of solution. That is one of the similarities. Then next one similarity is statement. What is your statement of Raoult's law and Henry's law? The vapor pair of the component is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the component present in the solution. Vapor pair of the component in the solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the component present in the solution. That is the statement. That's why the statement is equal and both laws are applicable to the volatile component of the solution. Then what is the dissimilarities? Dissimilarities, first one is the Henry's law and Raoult's law is differ in the case of the proportionality constant. Proportionality constant is different. So this is the proportionality constant different. In Raoult's law, proportionality constant is P naught A. Henry's law, proportionality constant is KH. P naught A means the vapor pair of the pure component in the solution. Vapor pair of the pure component of the solution. That is P naught A, or pure component in the solution. Then KH is a proportionality constant in Henry's law. KH is obtained from the experimental value. It is the experimental value. It is vapor pair of the pure component. This is obtained from the experimental value. So that is the dissimilarities. That's why the Henry's law becomes as a the Raoult's law becomes as a special case of the Henry's law. When the Raoult's law becomes a special case of the Henry's law, whenever the P in KH is equal to the P naught A, then only the Raoult's law becomes a special case of the Henry's law. That is about the concept. See the next one, some problems are there based on the vapor pressure. See the first one problem, at given temperature, the vapor pressure in the millimeter of mercury of solution of two volatile liquids A and B given by the equation P is equal to 120 minus 8 XB. Calculate the vapor pressure of the pure A and B at same temperature. Pure A and B means, so last class I told one point. If Xi B is equal to 0, means mole fraction of the B is 0 means, then automatically A is pure. A is pure liquid. Pure liquid means its vapor pressure of the pure A is equal to P naught A is equal to 120 minus 80 into Xi B means what I told you. Xi B equal to 0, then A is pure liquid. Therefore, vapor pressure of the pure liquid A is equal to 120 minus 8 into Xib instead of Xib, I am taking the 0. Therefore, vapor pair of the pure A compound is 120 mm of mercury. The next one is if Xi A is equal to 0, A is equal to 0 means B is pure liquid. B is pure liquid. Therefore, P naught P, vapor pair of the pure compound B is equal to 120 minus 80 into Xib means is here Xia plus minus Xia plus Xib is equal to 1. If Xib is equal to 1 minus Xia. Understood what I said? That's why instead of Xib, I am taking the 1 minus Xia. Therefore, P naught B is equal to 120 minus 80 into 1 minus Xia is equal to what I told you? 0. Then what happen? P naught B is equal to 120 minus 80. Therefore, 40 mm of Hg. So this is the vapor pair of the pure compound A is 120. Vapor pair of the pure compound B is 40 mm of mercury. So this is about the question. This is second problem. The vapor pair of the pure liquid A is 40 mm of mercury. So the pure liquid vapor pressure at 310 Kelvin. The next one is vapor pair of this liquid means A. Vapor pair of A liquid in the solution with liquid B means the A is mixed with liquid B. Then brother of A means partial pair of A is 32. This is partial pair of A. This is vapor pair of pure liquid A. Calculate the mole fraction of A in the solution if the mixture obeys Raoult's law. Then see the according to the Raoult's law for the liquid and liquid type solution, the partial pressure of liquid is equal to the mole fraction of the liquid into vapor pair of the pure liquid. Vapor pair of the pure liquid. That's why Pa is equal to Xia into P naught A. So this is a partial pair of liquid is equal to the mole fraction of that liquid in the solution is multiplied with vapor pair of the compound in the pure state. So this is formula. So in this one, Pa means partial pressure of or partial vapor pair of the A. What is partial vapor pair of A? 32. Xia we have to calculate into P naught A means vapor pair of pure liquid 40. Therefore, Xia is equal to 32 divided by 40. 4 8 jar, 4 10 jar. Xia is equal to 8 by 10 means 0.8. So this is the mole fraction of A. So this is another one problem.